Welcome to Top Gun, mates. And tonight, a bald man sweats, Tom rides a motorcycle, and Goose cracks his neck like a f***ing glow stick. Welcome to Top Gun, bitch. This movie starts with some writing that basically says we had some pilots that are good, we want to make them gooder, so we sent them over to Top Gun school to make them the bestest of the best. Then we get highway to the danger zone over to an aircraft carrier in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Inside is Lieutenant Captain, whatever his rank is, bald man. He's an unknown bogey 2988, a bogey that is obviously Russian or Soviet or some shit like that, but nobody says that in the movie because politics and whatnot, but I don't give a f*** about politics, so I'm just gonna say obviously Russian. Anyway, by chance, they have two of their very own planes up in the air, so he sends them over there to deal with them, alright? One plane has Maverick and Goose on it, our two main characters, and the other we don't really give a f*** about, so don't even worry about them. They go to spook the unknown plane away, and they find out that it's not one but two planes. How the f*** did not show up as two planes on the radar then? Two dots. Maybe they're flying on top of each other to show up as one dot on the radar? I don't know how radar works, doesn't matter. So it's a 2v2, and they engage in a scare off. Mav scares off this one MiG, and then the other MiG gets missile lock on Cougar, the other plane. Except both sides have very strict instructions not to shoot and fire at anyone because they obviously don't want to start a war. But regardless, Cougar is scared as fuck. Mav can't do shit about it, so what he does is he goes over to the MiG and flies over on top of it upside down and gives him the finger in an attempt to scare him off without using any guns. I might not know much about planes or anything, but just eyeballing it and guesstimating like that, there's no fucking way in hell you can be this close without their rear fin wings, the vertical stabilizer things, touching and causing a mid-air collision, even if the American plane has two of them spaced out like a hooker's legs. Whatever though. The MiG bugs out, he successfully scares it away with one finger, but Cougar, the pilot of the don't care craft, is thoroughly shaken and spooked, PTSD'd you might say, by this encounter, and he's out of it, not responding to anybody, not flying the plane back like aircraft carrier, although he has to because he's low on fuel. And Mav, who was just about to land and kind of did land, takes off again to go for him and help him, which is retarded because what are you gonna do? Fly the plane for him? Dumbass. But he should have been able to touch down and take off like that, right? Because there's a cable that slows him down, and there's no way he didn't hook onto that cable before he took off again. So there's gonna be some retard army dude in the comment section that likes to leak classified information for the sake of game accuracy. He's gonna go like,
well, actually, the cable is 23.5 meters away from the stern of the ship, so technically, if he is fast enough.
Shut the fuck up. No one cares. I'm just speculating. Fight me. Come fight me. Fight me with your shirt off between the Rule 34 subreddit and the gay furry porn one, right off the corner of Ibletch. You won't. So anyway, Cougar gets emotional support from Mav and lands the plane, goes to see Baldo and says, I'm sorry, I'm a pussy, but my wife and kid are more important than risking my life flying. And he quits the Navy, gives in his wings because he has been very thoroughly shaken. I don't even know if you're allowed to do that, but whatever. The same guy in the comments can correct me and clarify this, I guess. Then Mav and Goose go to see Baldo, who's really mad at them for disobeying direct orders and not landing when they should have and going to help Cougar. Also, Mav has a history of being a total dickhead and going full retard a lot, but Baldo can't deny Mav's talent, so he sends him off to Top Gun since Cougar was supposed to go, but he can't anymore because he quit. And they go over there for the rest of the best of the pilots in the Navy to get even better. And a clear rival, God, my God, and a clear rivalry, fuck me. And a clear rivalry springs up between all of them to see who the best pilot is, with the main rival being this guy, Iceman. And a little extra information about Top Gun, the top gunner of the class, you know, the top graduate, gets to come back and teach if he wants to, and there are no points for second place. And after this first briefing class, all the top J's go to the bar to pick up some women. Mav sets his sights on one Charlotte, shoots his shot, misses, she denies him very nicely, but stupid incel, how could she deny me, Maverick, doesn't take no for an answer, and falls her into the ladies' bathroom. Totally normal behavior, not thirsty at all or desperate. She denies him again, also very nicely, and we will soon see why, because tomorrow she shows up in Top Gun class as a teacher, a civilian teacher that has a PhD in enemy planes or some shit, there to teach them about MiGs and how to deal with them and whatnot, and she has a rule about not dating students. Then she says some inaccurate information about a MiG, so he's like,
your data is incorrect. I know that because I was flying above one inverted, so yeah.
He obviously says that way cooler though because it's Tom Cruise. After class, she approaches him and hounds him about more information about the MiG, but he's like, sorry dear, no pussy, no MiG info. They then start training against smaller, nimbler jets that are supposed to simulate how MiGs act to the most 80s music imaginable. Mav and Goose are up against one of the instructors named Jester, and they end up getting him, being one of the only two teams to do so, the other team being Iceman and his Rio wingman guy. Except when they did it, Mav and Goose reached the hard deck while doing so, not to be confused with the hard dicks these pilots always claim to have while flying. The hard deck is basically the lower limit of how low you can fly while training. Mav also did a flyby by the control tower, although he was denied permission to do so, so him and Goose are now in deep shit with their superiors. Jester knew he was done for, so he tried to escape below the hard deck so we couldn't get him, which is a chicken shit move if you ask me, and Mav was only below there for a few seconds according to him, but rules are rules. And they get a mouthful from Viper, the head teacher guy, with a pretty big warning, but they are let go, and Goose asks Maverick to take it a little bit more easy because he really needs this job and he has a wife and kids back home to feed. And Viper, being very pissed, is also quite impressed by his flying. And next day in class, Charlotte gives Mav her address and a date to be there so she can get some more MiG information and or dick. Either or will be fine. The top G's play some sweaty volleyball so the ladies watching can get some eye candy. Then Tom leaves on his Kawakaki because he's late for Charlotte's date. He arrives and the first thing he asks is if he can take a shower at her place. Who the fuck does that, dude? I don't know, maybe I'm retired. Nah, I'm pretty sure I am. but you can't ask to take a shower at her place on the first date, can you? It's like the shit pretty boys get away with fucking Anyway, she's like, nah, I'm hungry. And they have dinner. They have some Mick talk, some promotion talk, some flirt talk. And then he talks about his dad, who was a pilot like him in the Navy. And then he vanished in a plane without a trace. Or, you know, the information about that is top secret and very unknown. And they say that it's his fault, but Mav does not believe that because he believes his dad was a great pilot and shit. Then he leans in for a smooch, but leaves and it starts this god-awful chain of this one certain string of events that goes like this. Flirt a bit, lean in for kiss, don't kiss while romantic music plays and walk away. And it's so annoying. They meet again in the elevator at work/Navy tomorrow. Same thing happens, lead in, gay music plays, no kiss, he leaves, fucking kill me. Goose's wife and kid fly over to support him. Then in class, Charlotte shows off one of Mav's moves and talks shit about it, even though it was a success. The stupid music starts playing again, and he tries to leave, but she makes it to his bike before he leaves, and he just revs it up, pretending to not hear her. Music's still playing. Fucking kiss already, just do it. Fucking kiss. We get it. But no, he has to race off with his Kawasaki, and she has to follow him in her sick Porsche. And then gets to his house or whatever. He stops him, and she's like, I couldn't tell him that it was a good move. I had to talk shit about you because I didn't want them to know that I fell for you. And then they fucking kiss finally, and then we get this long ass foreplay before sex scene. Enough. I understand. You're fucking. I'm not. Stop, please. Enough. Can we move on to the next scene? Next scene, please. Next scene, please. Mav and Goose go up for another training exercise with another plane piloted by Bollywood, and they go up against Viper and Jester. It's a 2v2, and Mav is a wingman in Bollywood, but he breaks off the wingman position to go after Viper because he has a big ego and he wants to prove that he's amazing and shit. And you're never supposed to break off the wingman position because that's like, it's just bad. You can't do that. And that results in Jester taking out Bollywood, then going for Mav, who was chasing down Jester and taking him out as well. And in the locker room, Bollywood was like, what the f***, you stop wingmanning me, bro? What the hell? And Mav promises never to make this mistake again. Iceman's like, you're so reckless, you're more dangerous than the enemy. And Goose and Mav go on a double date with their women, and Goose's girl's like, fuck me now. And Charlotte to Mav is like, fuck me now, but on this bike. Yes, fantastic. Do you guys know that PewDiePie's having his first RGB gaming baby? Bro, I've never been so happy for a complete stranger in my life before. We must protect this baby at all costs, okay? Everybody go leave a comment on his next video saying, hi boy, sends us congrats on a new baby. Maybe leave out the RGB gaming bit though. They go up for another training exercise. This time Maverick is wingmanning Iceman, and Ice tries to take down this plane, but it takes way too long to do so. So he very aggressively moves out the way to let Mav take the shot, but in doing so, he puts Mav in his jet wash, causing both his engines to shut down and sending them into an uncontrollable spin to the ground. So Goose pulls the ejection handle. They both eject, but Goose bonks his head on the canopy, which I'm guessing kills him pretty much instantly. And I thought fighter jets were engineered to account for that never happening. Maybe this plane has a different, I don't know. The same guy in the comments can clarify again. I'm starting to like that guy a lot. Anyway, they land in the ocean, Mav holding a lifeless Goose while they get rescued. And after that, Mav goes to army court for Goose's death, and they determine that Goose's death is not his fault and he can return to flying immediately. Why isn't Iceman there? Isn't that technically his fault for doing such an aggressive maneuver and putting them in his jet wash? Whatever, doesn't matter. Mav goes for his last training exercise with a new Rio de Janeiro and is uncharacteristically wobbly and pussy-like, shaken and disturbed by Goose's death, obviously. Not taking the easiest shot of his life, and when he lands, he quits the top G's and tries to skip town, do a French exit, but Charlotte finds this out and catches him in a bar, tries to cheer him up, stop him from leaving, but he's already mentally left, so she f***s off and leaves him with the bill for a drink she ordered and didn't even arrive yet. What a bitch. Anyway, before he leaves, he decides to go over to Viper's house for some guidance or whatever, and Viper tells him he flew with his old man and that his dad actually died honorably, saving a bunch of planes in a dogfight, but that battle took place over the wrong line over some weird map, so they conveniently hid it away or sort of forgot about it, and Moxroll was top secret, never tell anybody about it and blame it all on him. Viper's telling him all this classified shit though because he's his son, he like tells him to keep quiet about it and whatnot, and then he also tells him that he can quit like a bitch or he can graduate tomorrow and apply what he learned in the future. So he shows up to the graduation kind of late, second best of his class, Iceman being the first, and both of them immediately get sent off with some other people we don't give a shit about to go and do a mission somewhere. Don't really matter what the mission is, just know that they are providing air support for some shit. They go on the same aircraft carrier from the beginning of the movie. Iceman and Bollywood take off to go provide air support for the air support location while Mav is on standby, and once they get there they find that there's not only 4 enemy planes but 5, and I think eventually it becomes 6. They engage in combat, Hollywood gets hit and bails out with the shoot, so they lose one plane. Iceman is knee deep in Meek shit right now, so they send out Maverick and nobody else because they can't send anybody out for 10 minutes for, I don't know, some stupid reason. Also, in my opinion, they sent out Maverick way too late. They should have sent him out way earlier, as in once they saw that they had more than 4 planes on the radar, immediately sent him out, but whatever. Maverick takes off and starts hauling ass all the way over to Ice, who is fighting for his life right now, and once he gets there, he flies through some jet wash again, but is able to recover the plane from it. His mind, however, is not recovered yet because he gets some PTSD from the jet wash earlier, but then he asks Goose to help him with his dog tagging, whatever, snaps out of it and re-engages with the other planes, takes one down, then wingmans Ice to help him take down another while a plane is on his tail, which is a ballsy ass move apparently, and all in all, they take out 4 enemy planes in a flurry of overused F-14 missile shooting and Meek blowing up clips, so I'm just gonna put the reused clips on a loop. Trust me, you're not missing out much. Also, am I wrong in thinking that all these planes in this dogfight had flares equipped and none of them used them? Not once. They take out 4 MiGs and the rest of them bug out, which is a PG army term for pussy out, and Mav returns a hero earning Iceman's respect, and as you might have seen in the next movie, his lifelong friendship. Then he throws Goose's dog tags off the ship thinking he's in Titanic, and in the locker room he gets news that his heroics earned him the right to choose where he wants to perform his duty, which is not poop related. It means he can choose where he wants to be stationed and what job he wants to do and whatnot. And he chooses to be a Top Gun instructor, goes back to Miramar, finds Charlotte again, or she finds him, and apparently she has the power to go invisible because, watch this, there's no one at the jukebox right here, but then they zoom in on a close shot of her putting a quarter inside to change the song, get his attention, and she's nowhere to be seen when you go back to the wide shot. Wow, bitch has superpowers. Anyway, this movie gets 10 top kicks out of 8.8978 atoms of carbon.